I do not own the rights to this music that I'm playing. I want to say that first. So, hey y'all, I'm glad that I can go live. Yay! So, this live, I want to just talk about what's good synastry in general from my findings and what I know. Because a lot of people like to repeat the same things. And the way that I learned my synastry is through doing the work. I've been reading charts for a while. I've been tracking my own progress with the planets and the transits. So let me get to it. Just what I had found is that a lot of people want to say, because when I was looking at synastry, I would look at the seventh house, and I would look at the first house because I guess that's what you're told to look at. But what I really find is if you want to know if it's gonna work out with a person, you really wanna pay attention to your fourth house and your second house, as well as your 12th house and your eighth house. Let me tell you why. I found that in the fourth house rules the home. And if you have good planets that are aspecting the fourth house and home, such as like Saturn in the fourth, you got Moon in the fourth. Those are indicators of marriage and a long-term relationship. Now, some planets that I feel can kind of not be long-term are like Neptune and Mars. So when you have like planets aspecting Neptune and Mars in a way, that can be like short term, because Mars is like passion, but sometimes that passion can kind of fade if you don't have supporting planets such as like Saturn and Jupiter. Jupiter is one too that is positive when it comes to synastry. A lot of people want to say that Venus, you want to look at a person's Venus. To me, it depends where Venus is placed. I believe that Venus in the ninth house can indicate like a second marriage or a second relationship, or Jupiter in the ninth house can be like another marriage. When you have planets in the sixth house, to me, you have to be careful a bit, because with synastry, with that can deal with health and routines. You know, you have to be mindful of like where you have stelliums as well too, because when I look at synastry compatibility, a lot of people be scared of like the 12th house if they have planets in the 12th house. And they be like, oh, the 12th house, that means there's hidden stuff going on. Things are gonna be hard. That's not the truth all the time either. And I really want to talk about this because, like, if you follow me, you'll find out that, like, I channel more than anything. So I don't even, like, read a bunch of the stuff that I really find out. It's more so that, because I have a stellium as well in the 12th. And like I said, like, it's so weird because, like, when I look at a bunch of, like, astrology videos and stuff, yeah, people be like, it's so taboo. Or, like, even planets in the 8th house. When you have synastry in the 8th house, they feel like it's so, so bad. But those are past life houses. Your 4th, your 8th, and your 12th house. So yeah, I was talking about like some good planets to have too. Like for instance, Mercury in the eighth house is like good to have with Synastry because that's like telepathic communication. It can also mean like, just mutual connection through the mind. Like when you have Mercury in the 12th, the 4th, those are good planets to have. Moon. Moon in the 12th, moon in the 8th, moon in the 4th. That's also telepathic houses because they deal with past lives as well too. So, and I have experience with those. Like I found a bunch of past life partners, believe it or not. And when I look at our chart, like those are some of the planets that I would see in those houses. And I'm gonna go back to the fourth house. As far as like marriage, if you want to know if something is gonna work out, you need to look into your fourth house to make sure it's stable. Now, some people look into the second house as well too. Now I'm iffy with that because I wouldn't want to be with somebody that got like Mars in the second house, especially if it's poorly aspected. When you look at Mars in the second house, that can be or Pluto, even Pluto in the second house, that could be losing money. So, as far as like resources and finances, you want to look at the eighth and the fourth house, yes, and make sure like those are like secure. That's what I kind of look at. Let's see. Another thing with synastry that I find is Saturn. You want to make sure that you have good aspects between Saturn and Jupiter, Sun, and let's see, Moon. Yes, Moon. To me, it doesn't matter so much as like um Mars. Like I said, because Mars is like, even though it's passionate, sometimes it can be short term, and sometimes it can be like, too much going on with Mars. I love Mars, don't get me wrong, because, but like from my experience, anybody that I had a lot of Mars synastry with, yeah, it was very passionate, and especially if it's in the eighth house, that's like Mars in the eighth house is like, yeah, I don't want to mess with that. Or just like if you have a stellium there in synastry, not only is like that's past life, but it's like the occult, it's karmic. It's very karmic. Um, let's see, kind of feel like I'm jumping around. But another thing that I find in synastry is dreaming. Yes. When dreaming, some aspects that I find is 8th house, 12th house, and 4th house, moon and Neptune. When you have those planets aspecting, y'all all in the astrals with it. Especially like if you have like Neptune and moon, stellium, yeah, that person is gonna like, yeah, be in your dreams. But yeah, those that are watching, who is this? Who is Ghost Train? I just realized somebody said, hey, what's up, Ghost Train? Yeah, I'm okay. Let's see things out. Okay, so yeah, back to the synastry. Yeah, I was talking about dreaming. Yeah, because when Mars in the 12th, oh my goodness, yes, that's like sex, you know? But not just physical sex, that's astral sex. Even in the eighth house. It's also like, okay, in the eighth house, let's talk about the eighth house. Eighth house is a Scorpio house, and Scorpio is ruled by, the sex organs. And it's also, the eighth house is ruled by shared resources. So, like I said, you want to make sure that that house is stable if you're going to be with somebody. For real. But yeah, so that was just a little bit of synastry that I had came across that I feel like is like secure. And this is my first live. Yay. Thank you for watching if you were watching. I may post it, may not. I don't know. But yeah, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to my page. So I can do more. All right, y'all. Take care.